Hello, this is Pat Soper with Sage Consulting. In this session, we'll be looking at PTO types and schedules. PTOs can be paid time off, vacation, sick pay schedules that apply to the employees based on length of service. Let's take a look. We're in Sage Intacct, and let's go to our payroll application right here, and we're going to be looking at PTO types and accrual schedules. So PTO type is just that. What type is it? I have a standard type already set up. Let's create a new type for vacation. PTO identifier is going to be VAC. We're going to make this have an effective date at the beginning of this year, January 1st. And we make a decision here whether or not we're going to allow the employee to have a negative balance. In other words, will we let them take a PTO before they have the hours accrued for it? In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. And we'll go ahead and save this pay type. Say OK. So we have a new type set up. If I go back, I'm going to see my standard that I had set up previously, as well as my new type, vacation. Let's take a look at the accrual schedules. So let's set up a PTO accrual schedule for vacation. And I'm going to create a new schedule. And let's call this VAC as well. And let's make this effective date, beginning of this year as well. And then it asks for the type of PTO that we want to create the schedule for. Here's the new one that we set up, VAC. So let's start building our schedule. We'll hit add here. First item is for years of service. Beginning year 0. Let's give them 40 hours per year. And we're going to add an accrual amount. First one we're going to add is for regular. And my accrual rate is 0.0192. Now, the method I use to create that accrual value is if I take 40 hours, which is the maximum hours per year, divided by 52 weeks in a year, divided by 40 hours in a week, that gives me the 0.0192 accrual rate per hour against the hours that I've identified here. Now, so far, I've identified just regular, but we may want this to also accrue against overtime hours and double time hours, as well as salary pay. Okay. Now, let's add our next layer in this schedule. Let's add another one here. And here, we're going to come here and say beginning year 1, they'll be able to earn 80 hours a year. We're going to add accrual amounts here for regular, 0.0385. And again, the method that I used to create this, what is going to be 80 hours in a year divided by 52 hours in a week. In a year, sorry, divided by 40 hours in a week, 0.0385. And then let's go ahead and add our overtime. Our double time. And our salary. Now notice what the system did here. When I said 1 year, it took that out to 100 years. So it's going to cap everything at 100 years. Now, if I come in here and say, add another schedule, years of service, beginning with year 5, notice down here, this no longer says 1 through 100. It says year 1 through 4. It's self-adjusting for us by what I'm putting in on the next layer. So beginning in year 5, we'll have 120 hours max. Then we'll have a regular, 0.577, overtime, 0.0577, double time, 0.0577, and salary, 0.0577. Let's add one more layer here. Years of service. Say year 9 here. Again, suggested this 5 to 8. It's going to make this 9 through 100. And here we're going to say maximum of 0.0769, excuse me. That's going to be 160 hours a year. Not my accrual rate. Regular, now 0.0769. Overtime, 0.0769. And by putting that cap in, the maximum hours per year, that will allow the system to stop at 160 hours a year. Even if the employee has a substantial amount of overtime, it's not going to go over that 160 hours a year. Okay, so this is our accrual schedule. We can go ahead and hit save. We'll get the confirmation that it is saved, say OK, and then we'll hit the back key. And now we see both schedules. Now these schedules can be added to the employee setup when we go to that section of the setup so that the system knows what rate to accrue for based on the length of service for that employee. So until next time, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.